Hello from the casting couch. Today we will be covering the most mysterious iceberg to have ever surfaced on the internet. We're going to be delving into the unknown, asking questions, and finding truths. Starting off, we have the Wunf, the Securd, and the Thurkant. This is the name recovered from the Dead Sea Scrolls, which we have researched to be correlated to the first prince of Macedonia. Now, some of you may be wondering, how is this related? However, we have done our insane extensive research where we have actually allied with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO, to really discover the secrets behind the Macedonian prince. And now, some of you may not know, but actually, there's a red house on 273 Kensington Boulevard in New York City, which actually may be cult affiliated. Some of you may have researched the Heaven's Door cult or the Jamestown Massacre. However, this is much worse than any of those. This is so bad, we have no idea what actually goes on in this cult, and it could be horrible. Now, some of you know of the first Da Vinci Code. However, we have discovered a secret scroll behind the painting of Francisco Goya's Witch's Sabbath that we actually believe to be the start of the second Da Vinci Code. Now, what secrets are behind this code, we do not know yet. That will be upcoming though. We are still collecting our research on the second Da Vinci Code. Legend speaks of the African boogeyman known as the African geese. Now, this urban legend is foretold that if children do not take off their shoes in the house, the African geese will come during the night and eat their feet. Now, some may attribute this tale to parents trying to discipline their kids better. However, there's a lot of evidence that the African geese is actually real. There are so many children who have lost their feet and attributed to the African geese. As a journalist, I must pride myself on my journalistic integrity. I know that I need to report the truth at all times. However, this is a special case. Never research the vanilla milkshake, no matter the circumstance. Legend foretells of a serial killer who terrorized the streets of 17th century Britain. His name was Rudolph. However, he also happened to be a very successful college basketball player, and therefore he actually earned the nickname Rudolph the Red-Nosed Killer. Now, this one's actually pretty simple. So, in 1867, someone fucked up the calendar real bad. And so, Christmas is actually on the 21st. Now, most likely, this was just due to the first implementation of a leap year. In the Antarctic region of Earth, in 2012, there was an orange-shaped rock that actually gave people ass and testicular cancer. Now, this was discovered because the geologists that were on Antarctica thought this was a very cool rock, and so they took it home and put it on their nightstand as a decoration. However, over the course of the next 3 months, they actually developed ass and testicular cancer and had to be airlifted back to Europe. Now this is kind of stupid. Coca-Cola, we all know that Coca-Cola made the first soda can, so I don't really know what is on the iceberg. I think whoever made this just kind of had like a stupid like fucking brain fart or something. I don't know. Now, in 2014, there was an experiment done at Yale where matter was created in a petri dish. This actually goes against the laws of matter, which is why it was given the code name American-born penguin. Now, the experiment was discontinued in 2018 because there was a sexual harassment lawsuit. However, some may say that the research can actually live on and is currently in the basement of the Yale storage facility, which means that maybe in years' time, someone could recreate the research and make the firstborn penguin.
Okay, starting off, we have the target flipper. I've done a lot of research, and I'm completely stumped for the target flipper. The transforming dunderheads incident. It was the worst bullying incident of 1971. This is where bullies poured green, oozing liquid that was radioactive onto a kid who was shitting, and that turned him into a dunderhead. The Neolithic robots were cave people who had freaky robots. Play Far Cry Primal to see evidence of this. The truck that fell into the earth. Some guy autistically clipped out of the earth because he was using mods. What a retard. The Dead Sea Notion is nuclear codes that got leaked after Trump sent them by email to some person. Martha Schwartz is suspected to be an alien, and one of her architectural structures contained a laboratory that experimented with rabies and other sorts of diseases. In the Caribbean Sea, robotic constructs were found scattered across the shore. Each contained ID codes that, when scanned, gave you a cool Steam gift card for Lost Ark. This is also about Martha Schwartz, where, in a separate lab, she attempted to create false humanoids to trick the rake. Eventually, the beings developed into a man known as Mark Zuckerberg. This one is self-explanatory. There have been sightings of big elephants in the Arctic. Nightlights are the incident that occurred during the Quasi War, where sailors wrote in their journals that they saw the eyes of God. All of the sailors that did that all died to AIDS. This may be unrelated.
The Marvel hero Howard the Duck may have been a fascist. There's a lot of evidence to prove this. However, it is just a theory. There's nothing, defamatory in this statement. At one point in time, there were racist
Black people.
dressed up as knights in the Pennsylvania city of Dunmore. We have evidence that they may have also loved to play basketball, but that is just a theory. This was a crater made from an asteroid that split the Middle Earth. The crater was so large that it actually turned the surrounding landscape green, and it also created a very hill-like structure. This was a scrapped spin-off game of the Hitman series created by IO Interactives. It was going to be called Kill Men, and play testers from the beta say, and I quote, "This game looks like my ass." This is about the TV celebrity Peter Griffin. Abraham Lincoln's first question was, "What are those?" This was later quoted in the legendary Vine going by the same name. There is a race known as the Hammurabi race that was excluded from the 2026 Israeli elections. National news channels like Drum Alert uncovered the horrible secrets kept by the Hammurabi race, and they were quickly eradicated by the Iranian government. During 1789, the British Army was testing flight capability way before the stupid dumbass Wright brothers. These people fucking suck. I hate the Wright brothers. Anyways, the military would attach 100 kilos of explosives to an elephant to make it fly, and this kind of worked, but the elephant was turned into a red paste. This refers to Great Britain's winning streak in the underground sport basketball. Their star player was distant cousins of Jimmy Sosa, named Jimmy Jr. Sosa. The Joe premise is possibly related to Joseph Porter winning most athletic in his high school senior's best. He would later win 5 Super Bowl rings during his time playing basketball. He is also 6'6". This was seen in Egyptian hieroglyphics on King Tut's tomb, where he had predicted the gods would come down from above and smite thee in the distant year of 2010. In Roman mythology, the second son of Samwise would hear the Messiah's cries from the heavens above. The second son states that as an adult, he would take over the kingdom of Jerusalem. This kingdom is now known as Sam's Club, a popular store that you will see today.